I'm being radio.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode number 13 of Streamer in the Spotlight. We are very, very gracious to have the Giant Kyote with us today, who has got up at 5 o'clock in the morning in his time to be here today, so we can't appreciate it enough. Guys, this guy is huge in everything he does. He's a big personality, he's a huge entertainer, and he's just a generally huge, amazing guy, guys. So everybody, can we please welcome in to Giant Kyote?
Hey! Thanks for having me, guys.
Honestly, brother, thank you so much for being here, mate. And I really do. I'm so humbled that you're taking your time out to get up early and take the time to come here and chat with us today.
Mate, honestly,
it's extremely humbling.
I've been super excited.
How you feeling?
Yeah, good, man. Really good. I'm feeling excited. I've been really looking forward to this for a few weeks now. Like since I had Tater reach out to me, I've just been like, man, I'm so keen. I am pumped to do this. And he's like, yeah, cool. It's 8 p.m. our time. I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. That's 4, 5 a.m. for me. Let's go.
Get that coffee on. Love it. Love it. I really appreciate that, man.
That's proper dedication.
We are going to kick off straight away, though. And we're going to get Tater to fire these questions. Because we are on a time frame, and it does go quickly. And I know we've got lots to talk about, guys. So, Tater, let's start this. Let's get this party started. Let's go.
Let's go, then. So, Kyote, welcome in again. Thank you for doing it. Get that coffee on, bro. But, first question, what got you into streaming and why?
What got me into streaming? All right. So, I was following a fellow streamers, wrestlers who had started streaming. So, like The Warship and Jake Nova. And I was like, man, this seems like really like a lot of fun. And I thought, well, I'm going to be incapacitated soon enough. So I started watching them in probably June, July 2020. I was like, well, I've got full foot reconstruction coming up in October of 2020. Maybe this is something I can do while I'm off work and recovering. And I thought, why not? I reckon it'll be a lot of fun. And then I was like, okay. So I created my actual Twitch account in July, started watching everyone for about a month, and I was like, okay, plan of attack. If I'm really going to do this, I'm going to do it properly. I set myself a list of goals, and I was like, I'm not going to start streaming until I have 50 followers, because I was like, obviously I want to get affiliate, and if I'm going to make this a thing, I'm going to do it right. Got to 50 followers on the 19th of August 2020, and then I did my first official stream on the 20th of August 2020. I streamed for an hour a day where I created the idea of the Hour of Power, where I play my different fighting games, and it was like, coming up with this concept. And then a week later, I hit affiliate and have never stopped and just kept rolling.
Love that.
It's been an absolutely amazing ride, making friends all over the world and giving people a really safe platform to come hang out and chill.
Your chat is probably one of the most positive I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing, I have to admit.
Thanks, buddy. No, we try to make it like a really safe, happy, positive place. Like we always talk about spreading nothing but good times, good vibes, and positivity, and that's what we want to do with our channel. Like I've always wanted to create somewhere where it's safe, people can come just chill and vibe. Like, the worst thing I ever see on Twitch is when people are there playing games are like, yeah, hi guys. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's about building that community and that connection with people. I treat Twitch very much like wrestling as well, because it is a platform where you're performing in that aspect. Like, you're not just sitting here playing games, you're building that connection with people. The same if you're like watching a movie or interacting with people, you want to build that connection. And so people are like, oh man, I want to come back. I want to see what happens next. So like, you want to, and also just create those friendships and those sort of memories,
Love that.
Yeah.
Vin, can you answer that question, sir?
What? So What is your best achievement to date?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, is it still too loud or not?
No, you're okay. You're all right, mate. You're all right. Welcome to the show,
Jesus
Vin.
Christ.
Oh,
Who are you? What year is this?
yeah, sorry. I was putting it on Twitter. So, sorry.
We're really professional, can you tell?
But
Let's go again, Vin.
I have these huge fingers, so if I'm trying to type at my small phone, then
Are you really blaming my arms for not paying
Hey,
attention?
I let this bad boy. So Vin, let's go. Let's ask that question again. Come on, pal.
yeah. So, what is your best achievement to date?
My best achievement today?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, or to date.
Besides,
what
besides
you
my
want?
kids.
Oh, besides your kids.
Like, oh man.
The kids count as well.
Oh yeah, kids count. Oh,
Yeah,
my
of
kids,
course.
But I don't know. From a like a sporting achievement, like, and streaming, I'd say like just trying to like wrestling. I did some amazing stuff with wrestling. Like I was an active pro wrestler for nearly 19 years. Still
Wow.
involved heavily in the scene. I started wrestling when I was 15, back in 2004. And my last match was November 2019. So, and even my last appearance in a ring was November last year. So I'm always going to be involved in wrestling. But to answer the question, probably the achievements personally for me was to receive 2 WWE tryouts, and also working with some of the biggest names in the world in wrestling. So, guys like Christopher Daniels, Colt Cabana, Loki, Adam Pearce, Chris Hero. So I've been very fortunate to work with some amazing names.
Can I ask, Loki, did you take a chop off him?
Ooh.
No, but I did shots with him.
Oh.
And my God, he's a terrifying man backstage.
He is.
Seriously, like I got to do a training seminar with him in Western Australia, and dude, before his match, he is like intense. Like,
yeah, he is
scary intense. Like, I remember standing backstage watching him, and he's like behind Gorilla, he's behind the curtain, and he's like jumping up and down. He's like, rah! He's like, yeah, and we're like, oh shit, someone's gonna die.
is an absolute animal.
Yeah,
he's been on shows over here. I've been on and watching him, like he's there backstage, and he's there and he's doing that to himself.
He just psychs himself
on the show.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
And it was so funny. Like, we went out afterwards, and I said to him, "Oh, Key, can I buy you a drink?" He's like, and he's got that deep, deep voice. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What do you want?" He's like, "Whiskey." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Love
He's not killing me.
That's brilliant. Pinky,
So, yeah.
have you got a question?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of deviated from streaming a little bit, and I kind of want to bring that up a little bit more since that's obviously where I met you.
For sure.
I know you through.
No.
So, in terms of streaming, what was your biggest challenge setting up? Because obviously, you didn't want to start streaming until you had your 50 followers. What was your biggest challenge setting up?
So, my biggest challenge was essentially I was a console streamer. I literally started with a PS4 and PS4 camera.
Yes.
That is it. So my original setup for the first 12 months of streaming was my TV, my PS4 camera, my PS4, and I had this big brown lounge recliner chair, which is hidden over there. And I made like a makeshift backdrop, and I was like, all right, gonna use what I've got and make it work. And I literally, and like, I had no sound alerts, I had no no sort of gimmicks or anything like that. So I had to be creative. So like we created the handy dandy whiteboard for like our sub counts and stuff like that. So like the first 12 months was really challenging because obviously all these other streamers have got like full blown PCs and you got alerts and stuff going off, and I'm like, I can make this work. I can do this. It's like so that was probably the toughest challenge at the start, but and it's just grown into like my setup now. Like I've been very, very lucky to have such an amazing community that have helped me build what I've got. Like now my proper PC setup and everything like that. but yeah, it's definitely that. But also the challenge is obviously trying to make your challenge grow. And I feel like that's for every streamer. Like you're always pushing on social media. You're trying to get your name out there because obviously there's millions, if not hundreds of millions of streamers out there now. And of course the streaming boom, if you will, happened during, the vid, and everyone's like,
Yep.
and like, not to sound horrible, but not everyone can be a streamer. It's like, it's awesome to see people out there trying, but there are, and I always feel so bad when I see people like, oh, it's not working for me, this isn't right. I'm like, well, look, you either keep pushing through and get through that glass ceiling, or you realize, hey, maybe being a streamer isn't for you, but you enjoy the community, then be a part of it like that, So it's, and the other thing too, like, it's not just, and like you guys will know this, it's not just about hitting the going live button. Like if you're taking this seriously, you're constantly on social media, you're in other people's streams, you're there working together, helping each other to grow, and it's such a big thing.
And that's the thing, is the community side of things that really does make a massive difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love that. Taylor, got another question?
Yeah. All right. So obviously, continuing with streaming. So you started off with the hour of power.
Yes.
What?
The piss, all right. The hour of power, right?
Yes.
Shut up, Vin. Which is normally on when around about 3 a.m. UK time. So I'm never there to see it.
Yeah.
What made you want to start doing other streams as well then, if that's what you started off with?
So like I started with the Hour of Power because fighting games were essentially one of my favorite things to ever do with gaming. I always loved my fighting games and stuff like that. And I thought that it seemed like a decent market to target sort of thing, and something that I could relate to. But like, obviously I did all my research and stuff, watching other streamers play, and I was like, okay, so this is what they're doing. And I was like, everyone's just versing each other in multiplayer sort of thing. I was like, what can I do that's different that'll make it stand out? So, and of course, I was also limited to what I could have access to because I was on a console. So really on PlayStation, I only had like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and maybe your Guilty Gears, and unless you found different sort of fighters. So I was like, okay, well, with Tekken, I can do treasure battles, but I'll do the idea of I need to get to 1 million points in 1 hour. And, and I sat there and worked out the statistics of it all. I was like, okay, I need to win 33 matches in an hour to get to 1 million points. So, and that's how I came up with that idea. So I was like, all right, sick, let's do this. And then, like, say with Mortal Kombat, endless mode, use 1 life. How high can we get? Setting the high scores and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool to be doing it like that.
Love that. Love that. Vin.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite fighting game then? Because you talk about Tekken, you talk about Mortal Kombat, but you haven't mentioned the number 1 fighting game in the world, Killer Instinct. So what's your favorite one?
Kill is another great game as well, though. Kill is incredible. Like I've recently got back into Killer Instinct. Like,
don't encourage him.
It was one of the first fighting games I ever played back on like the original Super Nintendo and stuff like that. So like, Killer Instinct's also highly underrated in my opinion. So, yeah.
So what is your favorite then? Out of all
my
the
favorite? Oh man, probably favorite franchise would be Mortal Kombat. But if I had to, Tekken 3 jumps at me. Tekken 3, I felt like changed everything, if not Street Fighter 2, because Street Fighter 2 was one of the very first ones I ever remember playing. Like I remember seeing the big blue arcade, and that's probably up there. So yeah.
And everyone cheating with Blanca. Let's be honest.
That's the one where you smash the car, right? The bonus level, you have to smash the car.
Yeah. The bonus level, you smash the car, the barrels, and then the bricks.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Good times.
Love that.
So I have a question on that. Why Mortal Kombat? What would you say?
Finish it.
I think the really, like, just the story of it, the characters, I think it was just the whole, like, growing up as a kid, you see that, because Mortal Kombat came out in 1992, so MK's just celebrated 30 years being out, like, as a franchise, because it came out in the arcades on October 8th, 1992. So, and it was also the game that essentially created the rating system for video games. So,
Yeah.
you know, it had
Makes sense.
such a huge impact. You know,
Yep.
so like for you know the legal system go, yo, no, we don't want kids seeing this. You know,
Yep.
and then you know you had all the movies, the cartoons, and everything in the '90s. I think it was just that sort of franchise that just pulled everyone in. Like, and you know, it's one of those games where you go, oh, Sub-Zero or Scorpion, like, oh, Mortal Kombat, like everyone knows those sort of characters. They're iconic, you know.
So
Yeah, I can understand that.
Is Australia like really tough to get rated or something? Because it's always the Australian board that rates a game first, right?
Yeah. So
the rest of the world just waits for Australia to rate a game, and then the rest of the world goes on with that. So is there a reason for that, or?
It's interesting because perfect example of things getting banned that you have no idea why they got banned. Rock Band 2 got banned in Australia.
Rock Band?
Rock Band?
So like Rock Band 2 was banned in Australia, and I actually had to get my copy from England sent over to me and pray that it didn't let. Probably saying something I shouldn't, but anyway, you know,
it's all right.
Why?
Because of the it's weird. Like I remember there was it's all to do with, I think it was one of the prime ministers at the time or something was like really against video gaming, and they were banning all sorts of stuff. Like obviously, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas got banned in Australia. It's hectic. Like the reasons that they would like Manhunt was banned in Australia as well because it was too gruesome. Like
to be fair, Manhunt got banned over here.
Oh, did it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of games don't get in. Yeah.
I still find that odd. I mean, I kind of understand something like GTA or Manhunt because it is a gruesome game. But Rock Band, I mean, unless it's the killer like guitar riffs, I can't see what would be that brutal about it. It make it happen.
It's so strange because like Rock Band 1 and Rock Band 3 got released in Australia. Rock Band 2 did not. So it was really strange.
That is mad.
Maybe there was bad music in it, you know.
No, this has a Journey song in it. You're not allowed to release it.
I don't like this song.
Appropriate songs.
This song reminds me of my ex. I'm not playing it. Nah, sorry, ban it.
It's so funny though. Like I used to work at EB Games, which is like GameStop here, and the amount of arguments that I would get in with parents who would try to buy, you know, because we had to follow the classification board here in Australia. So, like, if I was to sell, like, Call of Duty or something, which is in Australia an R18+ game, we're not allowed to sell it to kids, which is understandable.
Yeah.
The amount of parents that would come in and go, why aren't you selling this to my child? I'm like, because they're underage. They're like, oh, I'm like, well, you're a bad parent. Like, you know. No, I am not selling this 18+ game to a 12-year-old. Like, you know. And it's so funny how angry people would get about it. Like, you know, and then of course there'd be the times like the parent would come in, buy the game, and like hand it to their kid in front of me. I'm like, well, I can't do anything about it. Like,
I can just judge you silently.
I've been there myself, and you're seeing the game. Is there any other games? You look at the games got like Grand Theft Auto, and you look at them going, you look at the kids like 11 years old, you're like, you really buying? You don't know what Grand Theft Auto is, clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they don't care and just want the silence for a little while. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Or that'd be that dodgy person.
Grand Theft Auto, man.
I'll buy it for you. Give me the money. I'll walk in and I'll get it. Like
Grand Theft Auto, man. It's a driving simulator game.
Yeah, and you do really good deeds for people around the country. It's fine. It's fine.
They can learn the traffic rules from GTA.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are professionals here.
Yeah, well, we're parents, you know, Kyote as well, so we know.
I'm actually going to just interject, guys. I'm going to ask you a question on your streaming side of things, Kyote. Is there any projects that you have in the pipeline that you can reveal to us? Or anything that you're thinking and working on?
The big thing I'm sort of working on at the moment is obviously I used to do Phas Fridays where I would play Phasmophobia every Friday night with a group of people. And I broke away from that and started BFG Fridays. Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. So I started BFG Fridays, which is Big Fright and Giant Friday, where I'm playing different horror games and stuff like that. So I've been having a lot of fun doing that every Friday night and playing all sorts of different indie horror games. So going to be working on that. That's probably one of the big things. I have had a lot of requests to look more into the wrestling side of things because I do touch on wrestling when I'm streaming, and like I've done like reaction videos, watching pay-per-views or big matches and stuff like that.
A lot of your community talk a lot about wrestling to you.
We do. Like,
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, we definitely chat about wrestling. We talk about anything and everything, and there are times where like our streams get very deep, and we talk about mental health and all sorts of things like that. And which is like I'm a big advocate for it, like talking about it, and especially for guys because there's always the stigma that you know, me mad, me strong. Like, dude, it's okay to cry. Like I have openly cried many times on stream, and it's okay to talk about those sort of feelings. So it's definitely something I really want to look more into is like being a platform where I can talk about that stuff, or people can come in the chat and go, hey, I'm having a really hard time. And like about a month ago, we actually had something happen where we had a gentleman come into our stream and he's like, I'm in a really dark place. I literally searched motivation and your channel popped up and he came in and we literally stopped what we were doing. We all just started chatting with this guy and made it like our mission to make sure that he was okay, that,
Love that.
And it's crazy how streaming can help people, man. It's it's such an awesome thing to do. So like, that's probably two of the bigger things I want to concentrate on is like working more on my BFG Fridays, maybe touching in wrestling and then more mental health sort of chats and stuff like that. So
love that.
So almost introducing like a mental health check-in stream, like a just chat.
Definitely. Absolutely. Like just a safe place where people can come and talk and stuff. Because like it's really like it's also interesting where like one of my tags for my stream is the LGBTQI plus community. And I've had people come in my stream and go, are you a part of that? I'm like, not myself, but I absolutely support it. My partner is like, oh, but I thought you had to be, part of that to be a part of it. I'm like, no, you don't.
You can be an ally.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm an ally. I'm here. I'm supporting it. And this is a safe place for everyone. Like, it's so interesting. Like, how toxic some communities can be and stuff. Like you want to give someone a safe platform to be on,
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Mental health seems to be something that's quite important to you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've battled mental health since I was 13. Like I was diagnosed with depression at the age of 13.
Oh wow!
And I had a really rough childhood, and I owe a lot to wrestling and video gaming because they were my areas to escape life. And sorry, guys.
It's all right. No problem.
Right. I think I'm being raided.
Oh
no! Hello.
Oh.
We're going to see a little Coyote Cub now, guys.
Yep.
Come on.
A little wrestler.
So this is Odie. He's feeling a bit under the weather at the moment. Poor little guy's got a bit of a cough. Okay. All right. You want to go watch some TV? All right.
Oh, bless him.
Mummy's
love that. Love that. See, guys, that's how you know that this podcast is live. All right.
That's it. We live, buddy.
Well, we have interference every week. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
It's always something.
It's a kid or a pet, always.
Yeah.
No, we can't play Marvel vs. Capcom right now.
Oh,
sorry, buddy.
That's a good game, by the way.
Good game. Very good game.
Yeah, he has good taste. Love that.
Do you guys mind if I just go sort him out?
No,
just
do
about.
what you need to do, bro. Go do what you need to do.
Won't be a sec, guys.
That's all right.
Tinky, did you paint your hair?
Did you paint your hair?
Yes.
Yes, I have dyed my hair, Vin.
Oh, dyed. Yeah, sorry. Dyed.
Purple.
Sorry. Yeah, it's purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
She didn't slap a brush on it, like, you know. Well, she probably did, actually, to be fair.
I mean, to be fair, I technically did actually use a brush to apply the dye, but I'll just pretend I didn't paint my hair.
Did you just do that to make Fleety jealous or not?
He can't even dye his beard, can he, the wet wipe?
Look, Fleety, I can dye my hair. Can you?
No, Vin, it was part of my community challenge.
I just have Vaseline. Look, it's only Vaseline.
Vin, if you were doing your mod duties in my channel, you would have known it was part of my community challenge. Just saying.
Yeah, Vin.
Well, I have been a bit distracted the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks, Vin, when was the last time you came in? I'm kidding.
No, it was when you were doing that with G5. That game, Animal
You have to
Crossing.
be more specific here.
Animal Crossing was that? It was Animal Crossing.
Dinkum.
Dinkum.
It was Dinkum.
Terrible game.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Coyote. Welcome back.
Thanks, guys.
To be fair, I thought Giant Kyote was
going
going to put his entrance music on and come in as.
It's so funny when like I get, I always make the joke. I'm like, I'll be streaming. And I'll be like, I'm getting raided, and then all of a sudden Odin or one of the Cubs will come in, and
I love it. One of the Cubs. Love that.
Was it Odin?
Yeah, so that was Odin. Odin's my youngest, and then there's Lily Rose. She's just turned 6 this week, and then
congratulations.
So Ryan's going to be 9 in a couple of weeks too. So yeah, I got three beautiful cubs.
I love the name Odin for a child. That's a brilliant name.
Yeah, well, I have always loved that. It's like the Norse mythology and stuff like that, and because my family of like my dad's from Grimsby and stuff, which is Viking-esque history and stuff like that. So, and my grandmother's like, oh, we've got Viking in us. I'm like, okay, cool, done. I'm naming him Odin.
So you definitely got me on board when it comes to mythology. That's my jam.
Yes, awesome.
And I'm
guys, I think we are done with the streaming side of things. We can revisit if we need to. Because
cool.
I think with the Cub coming in, I think we are ready to get personal with Coyote.
Sweetie, I do want to ask one more question on the streaming though.
Let's do it. Go for it.
The energy in your streams, Coyote, is amazing. And speaking of being raided and 3 beautiful cubs, I'm going to ask you, can you do the intro for us?
Can I do the intro?
This intro is the best intro on Twitch. Hands down, this is the best intro. And the poor fucker, every time he gets raided twice within like 5 minutes, and he has to do the intro twice.
It's amazing. I love seeing it.
It's always hilarious when I get like back-to-back intros and okay. Sure. Why not? All right. So we'll set the scene. So I'll be playing, doing my thing. I'm like, oh, guys, we're getting raided. Quick. We're going to roll the intro. And here we go. Hello, friends. Allow me to introduce myself. My name's the Giant Kyote. I'm Australia's tallest professional wrestler. I'm a streamer. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a bodyguard. I'm a happily taken giant with 3 beautiful cubs. And I'm a current recovering amputee after having half my leg removed. Welcome in, everybody.
I love it.
Wow. How many times did you rehearse that? That's the question. How many times?
Man, I've said it a few times now. So
how many times have you had to do it? That's the question.
With being a console streamer, I had to do something cool because people have intro videos or something to go off. So I was like, I need to come up with something. So this is what we're going to do.
And at this point in time right now, he gets raided again. and then he has to do it all over again straight away.
Yeah. And I'll do the ready again. Quick, let's roll the intro.
Those watching this podcast, whether you're watching it live, you're going to watch it later on. Take note of this and let's get something going and really wind Coyote up. That would be fantastic.
Two race, one after the other.
Let's line it up. Love that. Okay, guys, so let's get personal.
All right,
Pinky, I'm going to ask you to lead the personal questions. Can you start us off, Pinky? Let's get personal.
I love that. Immediately goes to me for the personal questions. Okay, so I'm going to go to the obvious part. So forgive me if there's any questions you don't want to answer. Recovering amputee.
I am.
What happened?
Okay, so this is a bit of a long story, but I'll try and keep it short and sweet. I was wrestling in July of 2018. I was defending the Venom Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship at the time. I was the defending champion. I was wrestling against a gentleman by the name of Caveman Ugg, who is absolutely killing it at the moment on the indie scene. He's also worked for companies like PWG. I think he's also wrestled in Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal big man wrestler, like literally does the whole caveman gimmick, comes out as just he's awesome, amazing guy. We went to do a spot in the ring where I whipped him into the corner. I chased in after him. He moved out of the way. I hit the corner. He's then come off the ropes. I'm thinking it was going to be like a Lou Fez press. But he's come across me in a weird sort of angle. I've caught him, fell, folded up under myself, and I felt my right foot just make this weird sensation. I was like, oh, I think I've broken a couple of toes. Because I had broken that ankle before in 2013. So I was like, no, I haven't broken my ankle, but I've definitely done something. I was like, oh, this feels really warm and like that sort of warm liquidy sensation. I was like, oh, maybe I've really busted a toe and done something. Anyway, I managed to stand up, and I throw Ugg into the corner, and I'm like, nah, something's really wrong here. This isn't good. And I'm like, I can't stand up properly. So we finished the match, and then I grab a microphone and actually cut a promo while I'm sitting there because I can't stand up. I'm like, well, that wasn't meant to happen like that, was it? So ambulance comes and gets me, takes me to hospital, and they diagnosed it as a Liz Frank injury, which is normally found in cyclists or horse riding accidents where a person would fall out of the seat or the harness and their foot gets caught in the stirrup or the saddle, and essentially you explode the middle of your foot. So I had 9 broken bones in my foot, but each bone was broken 2 or 3 times. So it was like 32 broken bones at that point in time. So then I had surgery a month later.
Oh my goodness.
So, because they're like, oh, there's nothing we can do, blah, blah, blah. We'll do surgery in a month's time. Had the first surgery in August of 2018, and they put a V metal plate in the middle of my foot with 16 screws. And they're like, okay, that's done. Go home. Don't do anything for 6 months. Sweet. New Year's Eve 2018, I returned to work. Doing security guard stuff. Everything seemed fine. I started going back in the gym, normal life, wrestling. So I started wrestling again in April of 2019, and everything was going fine. And then I had a screw pop out through the top of my foot. It had come yeah. So so that got treated. And they're like, oh, it's not uncommon for metalwork to reject from the body, and we'll take that out. And you still got 15 in, and everything's fine. It's like, okay, cool. Was in hospital for 3 days with that. Went and had back to wrestling and working, and everything was fine. And then I was doing a bodyguard job in November of 2019, and everything was fine. I was actually bodyguarding Scotty T from Geordie Shore.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So I was looking after him. And the next day I woke up and I saw there was a little bulge in my foot again. I was like, I know exactly what that is. That's another screw. So went to the hospital and I've had the X-ray, and the X-ray you can actually see like the screw like sitting there in the top of my ankle. And the surgeon at the time, she's like, I want to do a proper X-ray of your foot and stuff. I was like, yeah, no problem, and did all that. And she comes back to me, she's like, you shouldn't be walking. I'm like, why? They're like, the entire front half of your right foot is not even attached. I'm like,
what?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, they're like, so from the initial injury in 2018, it wasn't treated correctly and was misdiagnosed, and the entire top half of my foot had slid into the archway of my right foot.
Oh no!
So they're like, yeah, you need a foot reconstruction. And I was like, okay.
Can I just pause you for 2 seconds? Just 2 seconds.
Yeah, man.
Those in chat, just take note. Kyote is 6'10", and this is a 6'10" guy walking on his foot.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
sorry.
It's not even attached.
Yeah. So like, so it was hectic, and like I wasn't in any pain or anything, but I had full sensation. Everything was fine, which was absolutely nuts. Ouch.
Ouch is an understatement.
It was ouch. So yeah, it was hectic, and so they're like, all right, we're gonna get you in for a full foot reconstruction, and we're gonna have to put you in a leg halo. And hang on.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, that's proper as well, look.
I was about to ask what a leg halo is, but I think I might have my answer.
Yeah, look at that.
So that went over the front of my foot. So my right foot was in here.
Yeah.
And then there was 14 spikes.
Yeah.
Running.
They're not very pleasant.
Yeah. So that was, I had that on for 6 months. Had an 8-hour operation to do a full foot reconstruction in October of 2020, because the original surgery was planned for early 2020 because it needed to be done, and that was the earliest we could get booked in. So the screw popped in November 2019. I was scheduled to have full foot reconstruction surgery 2 months later, but then of course the vid came in, the world shut down, and it got pushed back until October of 2020. So, and I was still working up at until that point. They're like, if you're not in pain, it's not causing you issues, keep going about your life. But I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to wrestle while it's like this, but I'll keep, doing my stuff. I had the reconstruction, and everything was seeming to go fine. And then the issue was that my foot was a complete mess. Once they actually got in there, they found out how bad it was. And so they I had to have another surgery, and they're like, well, what we'll do is we'll put some metal bars into your foot to create like a scaffold, essentially, to keep your foot straight. But they're like, there's a small issue. I'm like, well, what else could possibly go wrong? They're like, we don't make metal big enough in Australia. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we'll have to import the metal rods from Europe.
What? Because you're too big?
Because my foot is too big. So yeah, they had to they had to import these 3 metal rods from Europe to insert into my foot. So that was in March of last year. So yeah, March 2021 had the what was meant to be essentially the last surgery, and everything seemed to be going fine. I was healing up nicely. Everything was going great. I was in a special crow boot, which is like it's a modified moon boot that I was able to walk around in. And then December 15th last year, I was cleared to return to full weight bearing very slowly and progress to being back on my feet and normal.
Yeah.
And then my body essentially just freaked out because it was the first time in nearly a year that I had walked on my own feet, sort of thing, without any aids or assistance. And I developed a pressure sore on the base of my foot just below my big toe. Went straight to the hospital and said, hey, look, this is on my foot. I'm going to get it all checked out. They're like, yep, no worries. Swabs, antibiotics, they actually put it in a cast and said, look, no weight bearing for a week. I was like, cool, no problem. Christmas Eve 2021 had the cast taken off. Everything looked fine. They're like, cool, no dramas. And then the first week of January of this year, I had the pressure sword develop again in the exact same spot. Yep. Treated again, same thing. Everything seemed fine. And then on February 7th, 2022, I'm at home relaxing. Everything seems fine. I'm sitting in the lounge room with Em, my fiance, and I'm like, huh. She's like, what? What's wrong? I went, my foot just went like this. It just goes click. And then it just ballooned. It was ridiculous. Like literally my foot was just resting and it just went pop and then it ballooned out and I went to the hospital the next morning. Like that night I was in agony. Like I something was obviously very wrong. And I couldn't get an ambulance that night. They're like, look, it's just a horrible night. If you're not in if you're not in danger or anything, just wait until the morning. And so went to the hospital the following morning, presented, and they're like, okay, there's something going on. I'm like, really? Yeah, think. They did an ultrasound on it and they're like, oh yeah, you've got a bit of an infection in there. We'll prep you for drainage and we'll get it sorted and have a look what's going on. I was like, okay, cool. I got admitted to hospital on February 8th, 2022. And then I had 5 separate surgeries in the space of 4 weeks trying to drain this and find out what's going on.
Jesus Christ.
I ended up with 4 different infections in the foot and in the metalwork, ranging from golden staph, group B strep. Like, it was a mess.
Oh my goodness.
My surgeon who did all those surgeries in February was also the same surgeon who I met in 2019, who was the one that diagnosed that my foot was not attached. So she had been with me and a part of the team since that point.
Yeah.
And after the 5th surgery where they tried to drain it, she came to me and she's like, I'm really sorry. And she started crying and I was like, shit. Like, and I said, we're going to have to do what we've said was going to possibly happen, aren't we? Like, yeah, I was like, okay, cool. When? She's like, when do you want to do it? I said, let's go. Let's just do it. Let's get it done. And she's like, I'll give you 7 days. I was like, all right, cool. Give me 7 days to plan it. Then on March 6, 2022, I did a video and announced it to everyone because I was in hospital all of February and then the start of March, and I said, look, this is what's happening. I'm having an amputation. I've got 2 choices. I can either keep trying to fight this infection and pray that it doesn't kill me, or I have an amputation and it's gone, it's done, and move on with life. And so yeah, the amputation took place on March 7th of this year, and it was crazy though, because the moment I woke up from the surgery, I felt so free, at peace, and like just felt healthy again. Because they also didn't realize how bad it was until they did the amputation, that they found that the muscle and the tendons in my ankle and my shin and all that were so deteriorated and dying that it was spreading into the bone and everything else like that.
Wow.
So if they didn't do it, I would have checked out. Like, it was that bad. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
oh my goodness.
So, it took 4 years from the initial injury to March of 2022 to get to where we are now.
Jesus.
But I haven't let it stop me. I haven't let it slow me down. I haven't let it defy me, because I'm still here. I'm still talking. I'm still breathing. I'm still here with my kids. And yes, it changes everything. It really does. But you don't let it stop you. You know, you want to keep going forward, and you want to try and have some sort of life. And like, I'm now doing prosthetics training, which I refer to as cyborg training. Like, I'll say, tomorrow. But yeah, so that's essentially the story of the leg and the creation of Lord Stumpleton.
I love it.
Yeah.
What a fantastic name, and then a fantastic attitude towards it all.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Love that.
You look so positive. Even if you tell the story, I would have freaked out if every week there would be like my foot would like my foot goes like this or it blows up.
No, it was crazy. Like
it would drive me mental, man. I don't know how you stay so positive.
I've never really believed in negativity. So I don't like. Obviously, I get down I when something goes wrong or something. Everyone has those emotions of like, oh man, this is rough. This is really hard.
Yeah.
But I try to always press forward, and like that's also something that I've learned to deal with more as well. Is the way of dealing with those sort of emotions. And when something goes wrong, you're like, okay, cool, let's deal with it. Let's keep moving forward, but don't just hide the feelings of that. Like there are my bad days since my amputation where I'm like, I can't just get up and go do something. It's like I have to either have my crutches or I got to put my prosthetic on before I do it. Like, and it's really funny that it was a few months ago. We went out for dinner. I get home and I unstrap my shoe, and I literally went like that, trying to kick my shoe off, and I'm like,
love that.
Like, it was the first time I'd done that, and I was like, wow, that's not gonna work, is it? Like,
but can you still do stuff like your work? You said you were like a bodyguard and stuff. Is that still possible with the prosthetic leg?
Hopefully, I'm hoping it will be. It'll obviously depend on the situation, stuff like that, because it'll depend on whoever's hiring me, sort of thing. Like I've been doing security and bodyguarding since I was 18, so like I was Jason Momoa's bodyguard when he was here in Australia.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so it was pretty gnarly. I looked after him for 5 days. But yeah, like I really want to concentrate on streaming. I'm looking, like, 2 of my goals now are motivational speaking and trying to get into the Paralympics.
Really?
They're 2 of the big things that I want to concentrate on now. So,
is there like Paralympic wrestling? Is that a thing?
No, but they are looking at doing boxing. So
boxing.
They are introducing boxing into the Paralympics, so which would be pretty gnarly. So
amazing.
You're the biggest boxer then. Is that the biggest wrestler?
I've got a background in mixed martial arts. I studied Muay Thai for several years, and I've dabbled in other martial arts, but I've never actually properly trained in them, if you will. Like Muay Thai I did for 4 years at a proper dojo and stuff, and learned how to do it correctly, because a guy my height shouldn't be able to do the splits or kick above his own head, So it's something that I would definitely look at doing, and powerlifting as well. Like I love gym. Like I love lifting heavy things. Like I used to love doing deadlifts. Deadlifts was one of my favorite exercises. So there's a photo of me at Muscle Beach in Santa Monica doing a 300 kilo deadlift. So
shit.
Holy
I would like to pursue. Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow. That is an amazing goal. Absolutely amazing.
I have so many questions right now. I don't know if
go for it. You can ask me anything.
I'm gonna ask Taylor first. I'm gonna ask Taylor first, and then Vin.
No, go for it. Ask away,
Taylor, go first, pal.
All right. So what I want to ask is your prosthetic leg. I've seen it a few times now, Kyote. Yep. Can you show the stream? Because it is an awesome prosthetic leg.
You're going to make him get up.
After that story. It's not here in the cave. Hang on. I can show you a photo.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have it here in the cave with me. I was wearing
also,
it.
I've been watching your progress on Instagram with your cyber training, and absolute inspirational. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks, man. But yeah, this is my custom training leg. Hang on.
Oh, Batman!
On it. That's amazing.
That is so cool.
So yeah, it's titanium steel into carbon fiber, which is insane.
Is that also made in Europe because it's too big, or not?
But yeah, no, it's definitely giant friendly, so that's good.
I love that. Love that. That is awesome. Finn, have you got a question on it?
Yeah, so you said that you since you were 18, you were in security and bodyguarding. So
Yep.
is it like a private company you do, or are you working for a bigger company?
No, it was through companies and stuff like that. So I've worked for different agencies and stuff like that. The really cool thing when it comes to bodyguarding is with one of the particular agencies that I was working with at the time, the way that the bodyguarding is done, and this is really cool, is they actually give files to the person that you're going to be protecting. And then the person that is hiring the bodyguard will actually read each person's file and they'll go, he seems like a good match, I'll pick him. So
Jason Momoa picked you.
Yeah, which was pretty gnarly.
Oh,
so that was really cool.
Yeah.
So at least that's what I'm told. So like I'm not gonna that's my
understanding. That's what it is.
Everybody feels safe next to a giant, right? So that's
So yeah, no, it's pretty amazing. Like it's been really cool because like I've looked after BTS, the K-pop band.
K-pop band.
Yeah, I've looked after them.
I don't know them.
Santana, the guitarist.
Yeah, the guitarist. Oh yeah, Carlos Santana.
Yeah. Looked after him. Neil Finn from Crowded House. So yeah, a few different big names, which is pretty amazing. Yeah.
So
Disturbed and Trivium, they're another two that I've looked after.
No way!
Who was the nicest person you bodyguarded? Who was the?
Jason was definitely up there, man. Jason was really, really cool.
Yeah?
One person that gave me a run for my money and like literally tested how good of a guard I was Scotty T.
Yeah.
Scotty T was cheeky. He was funny to work with, but man, like I remember we were sitting down having breakfast and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go outside and make a phone call." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm coming with you." He's like, no, it's fine. You just wait here. I'm like, nah. Like,
it's my job. I have to go.
Yeah.
So,
but no, it's been an awesome experience. Like I've done security like on buses. I used to work in a gentleman's club for 4 years. So yeah. So yeah.
Can you imagine Kyote swinging around them poles?
I'm getting my money out right now. Yeah, mate. Take my damn money.
If he just stands like this, with his arms spread, that the girls will just swing around his arms, you know.
Remember the star attraction?
I love that.
Come here, Kyote. Yeah, sure. Here we go.
Yeah,
Come on, girls.
So, Pinky, have you got a question?
I have loads.
Go for it.
I'm going to go back
Ask
to one
away.
that is very close to my own personal heart. You mentioned obviously your bad mental health days and how you deal with them.
Yeah.
Would you elaborate a little bit more on that? How do you deal with bad days? Because presumably your situation, you must have had some pretty nasty ones.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. Like it wasn't until I met my partner where I learned how to really address mental health and how to deal with it healthily is probably the best way to say it, because I very much have always been like just sweep it under the rug and keep moving. Like if it's not in your mind, it's not it's not there. But by doing that, it's not dealing with it, like it's still there sort of thing. So a big thing for me has been like meditation and just talking to her about it as well, like especially like where I go, hey, I'm having a really hard time. And as I've sort of said, I'm a very emotional sort of person. So like, I'll be sitting there and I'm like, this sobbing 6'10" giant, but like, it is. It's very dangerous to be sweeping it away. Like,
it really is.
And I've learned that, especially over the last 4 years, that it's okay to talk about it. And I touched on this earlier about how guys are sort of frowned upon for speaking up about it, or anyone for that matter. It's like, you'll be fine, just move forward.
Yeah, no one wants to sit and listen to it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, gee, why didn't I think of that? Like,
I love that. What's up? I'm depressed. Don't be depressed. Thanks.
Yeah. And like, that's a big thing that Em's taught me, because when we first met, and she has dealt with mental health for many years. And she's like, you don't say that to someone. And it's also taken me meeting her and learning how to essentially rewire and reprogram the old noggin into ways to deal with it and to speak about it. And so like, you know, if I'm having a rough day, I'll come here into the cave and I'll just chill out by myself, play some games. Streaming has also been a huge thing for me too, because because wrestling was my chance to escape, where I didn't have to be myself. I could have been Kyote. And it's so funny. People are like, well, Kyote and you, like, you know, Josh, are the same people. They're like, yeah, well, that's it. It's just Kyote's got the volume turned up to 11. And Tater, you can probably relate to that with your background in wrestling and stuff. Like, wrestling is our chance to escape and leave the world and just be free, especially up in here. Like, it's a chance to perform. It's our chance to be someone else in a way.
It's in front of people around the ring. What better stress relieving?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just, you want to. It's definitely, and it's also the way the world views mental health these days too. Is that there's not this stigma or like, oh, you're just sad, you'll be fine. People actually go, oh, damn, there is a problem. Like, what can we do to help? And that's a big thing. Like, it's, being okay to talk about it. It's okay to reach out and go, hey, I'm having a rough day. Like, and people need to understand that. Like, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed. Sorry, Pinky.
That's okay.
I don't know if you noticed though. I feel quite lucky as a bloke nowadays that more and more men are realising, and it's more predominant that we can speak up about it. And it's quite nice that you realise how many more men there are willing to open up and let you talk about it and help you, support you. There's definitely, I agree with the stigma. It's still there, but I am very quite happy that it's on its way out. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
and it's definitely changing. Like, and that's what it needs to change, because at the end of the day, we're all human. Like, I've learned that a lot, especially over the last 4 years and everything that I've dealt with, that you don't have to be. Like, I've always been very open and honest, and I also strive to do that on stream as well. Like, what you see off stream is me, no matter what. Like, I'm the lovable, happy giant, but I do have my bad days, and I've even said that on stream. Like, man, I had a rough day today, but and I feel like you need to be transparent about that sort of stuff. Like, and it's okay to be that. Like, if you're having a rough time, like, do it. There's, it's it's better to be the real you than not, sort of thing. So I
love that. Absolutely love that. Sorry, Pinky, you were gonna say something.
No, I mean, I have to admit, I was going on about, or I was hoping to touch upon that, because for women, we're naturally emotional anyway, and people expect us to be. So when it comes to bad mental health, some of it is swept aside as being, you're a woman, that's what it's supposed to be. But
and it's so messed up, because women are so damn strong. And like, it's like, in all honesty, like, it's so bad the way that women are treated for mental health, because like, oh, she's just a girl. It's just her time of the month. No, it's not like that. Like, and like, you, especially like for guys that have got kids and stuff, like, when you witness your partner having children or giving birth or all that, you literally find this whole new outlook on life and go, holy crap, these women are so damn strong. Like, we will cry and be upset about stumping our toe, but these ladies are bringing life into the world, and they're like, yeah, cool, now what? You're like, what?
What? Yeah, what?
It's like the TikToks you see where the people are like, they're pretending like the woman's just had a baby. She's like, how much you gonna get me a sandwich? And he's like, yes, I will. Like, so
love that. But so Vin's been a bit quiet. Vin, you got a question?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I was sneezing away.
I'm my nose again. Yeah,
that's all right.
I'm difficult for almost week and a half now, man. It's killing me. But...
Stop doing cocaine, then, Vin.
Sorry?
Stop doing cocaine.
What?
Jesus Christ!
I can't.
Go on, mate. You got a question?
Yeah. So, obviously, the wrestling. It isn't possible anymore. I think. Right.
I'll always be involved no matter what. Because that's just who I am. Like, I'll always be a wrestler, and like Tater can back me up on this. You never leave the industry. Like,
no, exactly. That's
even if you want out, they always pull you back in. Like, there's no way of actually getting out. So like I really want to like train people. I love training people and
like coaching.
Back. Yeah, coaching.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'd love to coach. I also very much enjoy doing ring announcing and commentating. Like. And Tater, you'll know this. Like, commentating is an art. It really is.
Can I just speak to my lawyer, please? I just want to speak to my lawyer.
Like, nothing is impossible. I've always believed that nothing is impossible. But however, it would be selfish of me to go back into wrestling as an in-ring performer, especially with the way I am now, because, you know, I'm not, you know, in my early 20s, single, wrestling all over the country and around the world. You know, I've got a family to think about now. Like, I can't just be like, don't care, I'm going to go wrestle. Like, you've got to, your priorities change, especially once you get older and you have a family and stuff like that. So, like, if there was a chance for me to wrestle and it was safe, hell yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But I'm not going to be selfish and put not only myself but my family at risk just to have that moment and that buzz. You know? So it's more important to, you know, you can still be involved, you can still be a part of that world. There's just different avenues. So, like, for me, in-ring's done. And I'm happy for that. Like, I had over 500 matches. I literally wrestled around the world. I was fortunate enough to have 2 WWE tryouts, a New Japan tryout, and been looked at and worked with the best in the industry. And that's something that I can be really proud of. Like, I don't, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, but you never made it to WWE, like that. You weren't successful. Well, who are you to measure what I deem successful and you know, the impact that it had on me or others? Like, it's, you know, I did it. I lived the dream. I got to do what I wanted to. Will we get a giant figure?
Yeah,
yes.
I still want my figure. This is like.
Seeing as chat has raised it, share the wealth.
I'd love to. I definitely want to get more merchandise sorted out. Like, unfortunately, I haven't had merch for a little while because of everything that's been going on. But I did do a run of custom-made Funko Pops last year, and you know, I do have my own Giant Kyote Pops. But I've got to get more of them made. And I feel terrible that there's a couple of people overseas who have ordered Pops, which I haven't been able to send to them because of everything going on in the world and the fact that it would cost hundreds of dollars to send stuff overseas at the moment. So, like, but I've been really lucky. Like, there's an original Coyote figure up the top there from like 2005 when I won my first singles title, and I used to wear a mask and stuff. And then this is my 2012 version of me when I was part of a group called the Shadows of Alpha. So,
love it.
So, and I used to have very long hair as well. I used to have hair past my shoulders. So,
love
but
it.
yeah, never say never. We could always get more figures and stuff.
That's fantastic.
So do you still believe in a career at the wrestling scene? You know, like maybe on television, like the commentator or the coaching.
It's totally possible. Like I'll never say no to it. Like, it's there's so many options out there to be involved in wrestling, and especially now with the boom that's happening on the independent scene, especially here in Australia. Like we've got New Japan Pro Wrestling touring next month. A lot of the guys are absolutely killing it overseas at the moment, especially in the WWE and like New Japan, Ring of Honor, and all that sort of stuff. AEW, like Toni Storm is the current AEW Women's Champion. Like Toni and I met Toni when she was like 12. Like Toni's been wrestling from a very young age, and she's absolutely killing it. Like she's worked in WWE, she's working in AEW at the moment. Mark Davis is another guy. Davis and I went to school together. Davis and I went to high school together.
Wow.
And Davis, the first interaction I ever had with Davis, he walked up to me. He's like, "Oh, hey man, have you seen Kenta Kobashi versus Samoa Joe?" I'm like, "You know about wrestling?" Like, we just hit it off.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. So it's awesome to see like my peers and my friends doing so well. It's really cool to see them all smashing it. So like I'll never say never. Like I'll always be a part of it. And if someone came offering me to work and do it, and hell yeah, like if it helps my family, I'm gonna do it, of course.
Well, if the Australian television is watching, you can you can hire him.
It'll promote the hell out.
Yeah, right now I'm really concentrating on streaming and just also my recovery and everything like that. But like I'm having so much fun streaming. Like, I stream 5 days a week, and I do double streams on a Tuesday and a Friday. So like it's amazing, especially with streaming, when you have people just pop in your chat. You're like, "Hey, where you from?" They're like, "Oh, I'm from Saudi Arabia." You're like, "What?" Like, how did you find me? Like, and it's crazy. So cool. Like, I've had people from like Iran, Russia. I've had people all over the world. Like, we even had one guy who was from like a small island somewhere in the Caribbean. We're like, okay,
Jason,
this is cool.
Jason
like,
Momoa.
But yeah.
So, Kai, I need to ask you a question. I hope you don't mind me asking this.
No, man, go for it.
About your fiance.
Yes.
You basically said there's been your pillar in your life. So tell us how you met and how did you pop the question? That's what we want to hear. That's
man.
We love a romantic one,
actually, mate. We're a Tinder success story.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Nothing wrong with that.
No, we met on Tinder, and it's really funny. The first time we were meant to meet, I was driving up to it, and my car broke down. My car broke down on meeting her. So I rang her and said, "Look, I'm really sorry." And my phone, like everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong on that day. And like I rang her, I'm like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. My phone died. My car's cracked. Like my car broke down. I'm not going to be able to see you tonight. I'm really, really sorry." And she was really cool about it. But later I found out she's like, he totally stood me up. And then it's so funny. Like a few months later, this is after we started dating and stuff. She's like, "I just found the receipt from the day you were meant to meet me." I was like, "Yeah, see, I really did break down." She's like, "Yeah, nah, it's all fake." I'm like, no. Em's phenomenal. Like she is absolutely amazing, and like so it's really funny. Like when I started dating Em, so our oldest two, she she hid all the photos of the kids because she's like, "You're not meeting my kids until I feel it's safe to do so."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So Ryan and Lily are, from a past relationship, but they're mine. They're my kids. Yep. And it was so funny. The first time I met Ryan and Lily, I had to used to sneak in and out of the house, and it was really funny. It was like, you're not allowed to, they're not allowed to meet this guy until I'm ready.
Like Top Gun.
One time we slept in, and our alarms didn't go off, and Lily was about 18 months old, if that, maybe a bit younger. She literally crawls into the bed and she sits on me and just smiles. And that's how I met Lily. And it was awesome. And then Rye walks in half asleep, and Rye's about 3.5, 4 years old at this point. Rye walks in and he's like, "Oh, hey." It was like, "Hi." And I'm like, don't make it so comfortable. Like you think this is a regular thing. Like,
I love that.
But it sounds to me like they basically accepted you from the beginning.
We just hit it off. Like, and then my injury happened because we started talking end of June 2018, started dating in July of 2018, and then 3 weeks later my injury happened. So M's been here every single step of the way, and like I even when I did the injury, I rang her on the phone. I said, "Look, I'm hurt. This is like I'm okay. Everything's fine." And then when I found out the extent of the injury at the time, which I thought was pretty bad, I actually said to her, "Look, if you don't want to be a part of this, I totally understand. Like if you if this isn't your thing, I no hard feelings, whatever." And she stuck with me. She stayed with me, and then we found out that she had fallen pregnant with Odin, and we'd only been dating for 4 months. And Odin's an absolute amazing surprise because we weren't expecting, we weren't trying, it was just, and it just happened. And then like Em Em fell pregnant, and it was amazing. And then Odin came along in July of 2019. So Em's been with me every single step of the way through all this, through the injury, through streaming. Like she even traveled with me while I was still wrestling. Like she was 7.5 months pregnant and traveled with me down to New South Wales. We flew interstate to be a part of shows and stuff like that. So she's always been there for me. She's always been my backbone and helped me and supported me. And yeah, she's absolutely incredible, So yeah.
Usually we ask who your biggest supporter is, but I think you might have already answered that one.
I'm gonna nominate Taylor for the next question.
All right. Can I go back to wrestling?
Yeah, man, of course. Go for it. You guys can ask me anything. Honestly, go for it.
Right. So obviously, what I want to know, basically, and as wrestlers, you understand this, Kyote.
Yep.
Realizing when it might be your final go around in the ring.
Yeah.
That happens. And then how you deal with that afterwards. Because a lot, including myself, after knowing full well I wasn't going to step into a ring again, went rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like, and the edge to get into that ring, every time you see it, you have to stop yourself from running. Yeah. Like, I'm a kid at Christmas if I see a wrestling ring. The wife's
I'm the same. Like,
I mean,
it's so funny. Like, even the shows that I've attended, for like during the injury and stuff, like I did a couple appearances last year, and would be like, "You are not doing anything tonight. I swear to God, if you do, I will beat the absolute hell out of you." I'm like, yeah, no problem, honey. So like, I'm gonna choke slam that guy. She's like, "Fine," but that's it. I'm like, "Yeah, cool." So like, it'd be funny. Like, I get to the spot, I'd be like, bah, grab him, choke slam, and I'll get back to her. And she's like, "You said you were only gonna do a choke slam." I was like, "I did." She's like, "And the forearms and the headbutt?" And I'm like, it's funny. So I as I mentioned earlier, I broke my ankle in 2013, and I actually broke it on my 25th birthday on the other side of the country. I was wrestling in Western Australia, and that was a clean snap. That all healed up nicely. It was fine. And then 3 years later, my ankle was actually starting to deteriorate, which was the same foot that I've ended up losing. So I've had issues with it ever since, sort of thing. They're like, "You need to stop wrestling." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I actually did what I referred to as a last stand match because I didn't want to do a retirement match. I didn't want to be one of these guys like, "I'm retiring," and then 6 months later, "Hey, I'm back." Like, I never wanted to use the word retire. So I did have like a farewell match in 2016 because I didn't know when I was going to wrestle again. I legitimately didn't know if I'd be back or what was going to happen. So we did that big show, and I wrestled one of my original trainers, a mentor, and a guy that I came up with, Mason Childs, aka Australian Wolf, who is phenomenal. Like, he's an amazing worker. He's wrestled in Japan. He's done some phenomenal stuff. I had that match with him, and I was like, "Cool." I was so at peace with that. I was like, "If this is my last match, sweet." I had all my family, I had friends there. We had like 600 people there at that show, which is big numbers for a local indie show sort of thing. And and then I took my time off, and everything healed, and they're like, "Oh, you can go back." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I was like, "Well, I'll come back," and I did the comeback in October 2017. So I had about nearly a year off, and came back in 2017. And then I had this incredible run from the moment I came back up until the injury. So that 8-month period between the end of 2017 to July of 2018, I wrestled Christopher Daniels, Bad Luck Fale, was working all over Australia, having title runs, and it was phenomenal. And then the injury happened, went back to wrestling in 2019, and everything seemed fine. And then my actual last match was November 2019 at Supernova, which is our version of Comic-Con here. So, yeah, which was wicked. And it was, but I didn't realize at the time that was going to be my last match sort of thing. Like that would be my last appearance. So yeah, like it was hectic. It was sort of taken away at the same time, like because I didn't get to leave on my own terms. So it does suck because every wrestler wants to go out their own way, not the way that they're. So but I'm also very grateful that the last time I was in a ring was November last year, and it was for a brand new company, and I got to do some stuff and work with some people that I absolutely adore in this industry. So that was really, really cool. So like, yeah, it's always very hard to deal with something that you love so much that it gets taken away from you, or you're not allowed to do it anymore. So, but you like I said, you never leave the industry, so it's you still get that buzz, you still get that feeling, because like there is no greater feeling than standing behind that curtain, your music hits, and then you punch through that curtain. And it's insane. There's no other way of describing it. So
it's really weird as well because you're nervous backstage, but as soon as you go through them curtains, the nerves are just gone. There's nothing, and there's just a sense of excitement, and you're like, "Yeah, fucking
yeah." Well, it's like in the Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. Like there's that scene where he's walking through the shop, the grocery store where he's working. And he's got all these thoughts in his head and everything's going off, and he's standing behind the curtains, and he just walks through it and everything goes silent. It's the same thing. It's like you're at peace, you're free once you step through that curtain.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah. Great story. Pinky.
Yeah, so I've had a couple of questions. I want to touch back on something you mentioned that I have to admit absolutely blows my mind, the idea of you doing it. You want to go into the Paralympics. Talk more about that. That's a huge step. What spurred that on?
So I think because I knew I couldn't wrestle anymore, I was like, well, what can I do to challenge myself and to perform? And I was like, well, I'm good at lifting stuff, so why not try looking down that avenue? And I found out that there's actually a training center not too far from my house where they do focus on powerlifting and Paralympic training. So, and it was really funny. Like I was like, Paralympics, I'm sure they're not lifting too much. And I was like, oh, just for giggles, I'll have a look. And I YouTubed I think it was like the European World Championships or something for Paralympic people weightlifting. I was like, oh yeah, cool. And this little guy who was 60 kilos is benching 202, and I'm like, and then this guy's like just smashes out 200 kilos, and I'm like, oh come on, like what?
Love that.
Yeah. It's really funny.
Can you just apply for that, or do you have to be invited to it? How does that work?
I think you can just train, like you join a club and you train up. But I haven't really looked into it completely yet. But I'm aware that there is places to do it and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. So you join the club, and then So
then
they can pick you or something, or.
Yeah, so there is a club, like down not too far from my house. So I've been speaking with one of my caseworkers to organize to go there and visit and check it out and meet some people. So hopefully we can get the ball rolling on that very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That'd be cool.
Got a really good question actually asked in chat. I'll just put it up on there for you now. Would they help with your recovery? It's a good question.
I think so, yeah, because it's keeping me active. Because I'm doing physio 3 times a week at the moment, as well as doing it at home. So anything that'll keep me active. Because at the moment I'm getting around on my wheelchair and stuff, and it's crazy. Like also because of my weight and stuff, it's helped me bulk up in my upper body and stuff. So like, prior to my injury, I was about 165 kilos, 22% body fat, carrying around 70 kilos of muscle, and I had about 24-inch biceps. And like over the last 6 months, because I'm using crutches all the time and in a wheelchair, like I'm just getting bigger and bigger. So I'm like,
size of my head.
Yeah.
That's brutal, right? He has 70 kilos of muscle. That's more than I weigh in total.
That's crazy.
It would be cool to get involved in it. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Pinky, you said you got a follow on. Do you want to do the follow on quickly before I ask Finn for the next question?
So in terms of Paralympics, how would you go about doing that? Because obviously Vin's mentioned like, how would you go about it? What's the process? How far along that process are you?
I literally started getting to like into looking to it because I only got my prosthetic in August. So and we're coming up into November now. So I've only had it for about 2.5 months. And so I'm still dabbling in how the steps to do it and stuff like that. So it'd be pretty cool to learn more about it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Vin, got a question?
Yeah, so there's the wrestling part, like the future goals. So what's the future goal with the streaming?
So big goals at the moment with streaming is I always set myself 2 goals a month. One being a subscription goal, and the other is a follower goal. So I'm currently chasing down 1,600 followers.
Wow.
One of my big goals for above my PC setup, I have a list of like motivation quotes and a list of goals and stuff like that. So like for 2022, my goals were to get to 2,000 followers on Twitch, 1,000 on TikTok, 500 on YouTube, 1,000 on Twitter, and 1,000 on Instagram. So like just trying to build up that community and get the brand out there, if you will, like trying to build up the channel and stuff like that. Like but Twitch has also been very funny this month, and I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys, but like my follower count has been jumping up and down quite dramatically as well.
Yes.
And it's been a weird month, but it's like, again, it's still been a very successful month. Like I've had 99 subs this month. And we've helped a lot of people this month as well get their affiliates, and because that's a big thing too. Like I love pushing other up and coming streamers, and we help people get their numbers up. Like we helped a streamer named Incredible Steph get to 700 followers. We helped Miss Bones get her affiliate. Kitty, we got her to 400 followers. Like we've been helping everyone else as well in the channel. Like Tater, whatever he's in, we'll shout him out. We always push and try to help everyone grow. And
always remember, I was at 500 and I think it was 589 followers, and I came into your stream just to say hi, and then he promoted the shit out of me, and then I smashed to about 612 followers after that stream.
Love that.
So that the influence of his community.
Yeah, and we've got such an amazing community too, and it's really cool to see everyone working together. And it's also really cool when I have people in my chat who are like, "Hey, I'm off to go see Tater for a little bit. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Of course it is. Like, go. Like, that's fine. Like, I'll be here when you get back." Like,
is that forever done by any chance?
No, you stay here. Don't you go anywhere. Like, how dare you leave? Like,
is that forever done by any chance?
Yes, it is.
I love Forever Damned. He's amazing.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the comments. I saw commentator's wife. She just said, "Are you tired after the energy you put into having amazing energy?" No, like I usually after a stream, I just try to wind down in the cave. Like I'll raid out to someone. and then I'll just literally kick the chair back and relax for a little bit and just wind down. But yeah, like I never find streaming tiring. I don't feel like I get burnt out when I'm streaming. Like there might be times where like I have taken a couple of days off where I'm like, okay, I've done a lot. It's time to just take a couple of days, recharge, reboot, go again.
Yeah.
It's good that you know how it's like when you recognize that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's good
like
that you recognize
I think on I think it was on Friday night. Like we finished the game we were playing, and it was only about 11:30 my time, and I was like, "Look, guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna wrap it up tonight. I'm feeling pretty tired." And I think that's another thing. Like streamers need to know their limits. Like there's no point pushing out. And if you're like falling asleep or you're like struggling, like you don't want to put out not bad content, but like you don't want to lower your content as well. Like you want to keep it up at a level that you feel happy with. And like if you watch it back, you're like, okay, cool. I would have stuck it. Like if I'm a viewer watching my own, channel, how am I going to feel about it? What am I going to do to make it better, sort of thing. So like you see people doing these like, oh, I'm going to do a 24-hour stream. Like they are hard. Like I've never even done a 24-hour stream. Like the most I've ever done consecutively was 15 hours. And by the end of it, I thought I was seeing through time and hearing voices. Like, what year is this? Like
mate, I can concur, mate. I did 24 for charity, and literally once I turned off the stream, I literally turned my phone off, hit the pillow, and I don't remember falling asleep. Bang.
Totally get it, man. Like I've done a couple of 12-hour streams. Like usually it's like for the stream anniversary or my birthday, but like I really do want to do a big charity stream sometime, and like because we last year we did I raised money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation just through the whole month, and it was really cool to do. Like I actually donated some money from my Twitch payout, and I said, this is what we're going to do. And I'd love to do charity stuff. Like I've always been involved in charity work and stuff like that through wrestling. And that's a big thing for me. So like, it's definitely something I want to look at doing, is doing a 24-hour stream. But I also feel like having a PC setup is key to doing those sort of streams.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do it as a console streamer, I don't think. So, well, you could. Like I'm not saying you can't, but it'd be tough.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Definitely would be harder.
Have you also been in a rock band?
Sorry?
Have you also been in a rock band? Because
have I been in a rock band?
Yeah. At the moment, I suddenly see it now. You are the guy from Limp Bizkit.
The famous red hat. The famous red hat, yeah. No, I've had people come in my chat and they're like, if you're not wearing your red hat, something's wrong. Yeah, it's I've always rocked the famous red New York.
Sorry, it just popped in my head. I'm sorry, just popped in my head.
No, don't be, no. I have been heavily involved in the music scene here in Queensland. Not nowadays, but years ago, I used to DJ for a radio station called 4ZZZ. I used to do the graveyard shift on a Sunday night called Riff Patrol. So we would play like all different metal music and stuff like that. So yeah, like I've been involved with bands and stuff like that. I actually did some vocal work for a band with a very offensive name, so I'm not gonna say that.
Don't worry, it's 18 plus. Don't worry, you can say the name.
Okay. Well,
swearing is allowed.
Okay, well, yeah, the band was called the C Offensive. I'm not gonna say the word.
Okay.
They were it was a pretty full-on metal band. And
CUNT or not?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, man.
And I did vocals on one of their albums.
That's a swearing word for you. That's weird, but you know.
But no, so like no, I love my music, but I like my all-time favorite song is Dreams by Van Halen. I'm a huge Van Halen fan. But it's so funny, like you go through my Spotify and I've got everything from like soft Celine Dion to like Cannibal Corpse and death metal. It's like everything in between. Like, but lately I've been listening to heaps of like Peyton Parrish, who I use for my entrance, my intro music's on stream. I've been listening to like Breaking Benjamin. I've been going through like late 90s, early 2000 alternative music lately. So I've been listening to anything and everything lately. Yeah, it's been great.
Honestly, you're speaking my language when it comes to music. Music is something I'm absolutely passionate about.
Yeah.
In fact, if Fleeny doesn't mind, I'll take the next question.
Go for it.
Sure.
So, on the subject of music, it's something that is very close to my heart.
Yep.
Live music. Which bands have you seen live, and who is your favorite?
Oh no. Okay. Oh damn. Okay. I'm gonna answer it in two ways. As a fan, like paying for a ticket and going to a show, Disturbed and Metallica are a very big tie for first.
You've seen Metallica? Sorry, I'm so jealous. One band I always wanted to see.
So yeah, no, Metallica was pretty insane. That was an amazing concert.
Did they have the orchestra?
No, this was during the release of the was it Black Ice album? So I think it was 2011. Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah. So that was gnarly. I was in like third row in the mosh pit, so it was hectic. Like it was my first time in a proper mosh pit.
Basically everyone was around you and you were like just towering over everyone.
Yeah, it was great. But the fun thing was that I didn't even have tickets until like a couple of days before the show. And I saw someone on Facebook like, oh, I've got a ticket for Metallica. Does anyone want it? I messaged him and went, hey, man, I see you selling tickets. He's like, yeah, I've only got one. I was like, yeah, that's cool. But it's only in the mosh pit. Is that okay? I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Everybody else. I went to the concert with a couple of mates and we drove up in a limo and they're like, oh, where's your ticket? I'm like, oh, I'm up in the nosebleed section. And I didn't tell them. And then we all went into our doors to get into to the spots. And they're sitting up in the first lot of bleachers. And I'm down at the rail and I just look at them like, hi. And they're like, but yeah, like I've seen Disturbed twice. I've seen Trivium, Metallica, Def Leppard, Iron Maiden. Oh man, I've seen a lot. Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi was cool. Bon Jovi was a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. But one of the coolest experiences I've had with a concert was I was working security at Blues Fest in 2017, which is the Byron Bay Blues Festival, which is a massive blues festival that runs over 2 days. It's actually more than that. I think it's like anyway. And I got to, when I was bodyguarding Neil Finn, I got to stand in front of him and he was closing out the festival for the weekend. And one of the most famous Crowded House songs is Better Be Home Soon. And there was like 27,000 people there watching it at that point. And I'm standing in front of him down under the stage. He's standing directly behind me and there's all these people singing Better Be Home Soon. I was like, this is one of the coolest moments ever in my life. Like hearing all these people singing along with him, I was like, this is absolutely insane. Like, yeah.
That's something I love about
I've got a question, right? Because you were in the mosh pit at Metallica. But was there anybody brave enough to attack you in the mosh pit?
No. Funny story. I was I went to Soundwave in 2012, I think it was, and I can't remember who was playing at the time because there was multiple bands on, and they literally called out for a wall of death, and you just see this crowd split, and I was like, and I just see this little guy on the other side. I'm like, oh, goodbye. So I'm like, just ran straight at this guy. I was like, I don't care. Like, I was just,
Was the guy alive afterwards? Can we just check that?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that information without a lawyer present.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But,
okay, I'm going to go with the opposite of that question too, though. Worst band you've ever seen.
And out of context,
worst band I've ever seen? Kid Rock was pretty terrible. I did not enjoy Kid Rock. Yeah. I don't know if he was just having an off day. It just,
What about
he was the opening act for Bon Jovi, and I don't. It was weird. Yeah.
Is it just not quite with it? It wasn't performing.
I don't know. It just seemed off. Like, yeah.
Kid Rocky was probably on drugs or something.
Probably.
Off his head on drugs.
Love that.
So yeah.
So
we
haven't got
music.
We haven't got too much time here, guys. So I'm going to ask.
Sorry,
so we got so much to cover. Obviously, we want to know about films and stuff as well. We got quite a bit to cover. So Taylor, can we ask a question about movies and stuff, please?
Yeah. Well, I think I already know this question, Coyote. But favorite movie?
My all-time favorite movie is actually a tie. I have two all-time favorite movies. One is Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and the other one is The Crow.
Oh, okay.
The Crow is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Two amazing films.
Yeah. Followed closely by Batman Returns. Like they're my three. Like if anyone ever asks me what are your three movies, it's always them. But yeah, Terminator 2 and The Crow are tied for first place, and it would probably be Batman Returns in second. The Crow is such an amazing movie to me, and like one of my next tattoos, I plan on getting the quote that he says is "Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children," and that's something I love that quote so much because. And we sort of touched on it before about how powerful women are, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. Like it's plain simple, like and it's really cool. Like I'm not a religious person by any means, and like I it's just such a powerful quote when you look at the meanings behind it as well. Especially that scene in the movie where he grabs her arm and he's like, your daughter's out there looking and waiting for you, and. He says the quote and he's like, morphine's bad for you, and he gets all the drugs out of her. It's such a powerful movie, and the fact that Brandon Lee also died while filming it, and it's become such a cult classic because it's a tradition for a lot of people that they watch it on October 30th, which is Devil's Night, and so a lot of people will watch it on because it's Halloween here for us, but it's still December 30th for you guys. So
yeah,
October 30th. Sorry,
I was going to correct you there.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So yeah, no, and like T2 is like that's a very special movie for me because it was a movie that my mum showed me as a kid, and I've always used the quote, "We're skipping to Christmas." Like I've always resonated with the quote that there's no fate but what we make, and like I've always believed that we're in control of our paths, but I also believe that everyone has an ultimate goal that's already set for them, but it's up to you how you get to it. So like I'm a big believer in that. Like I was always, ever since I was a kid, I always said I was put on this earth to do two things. One was be a professional wrestler, and the other was to be a dad. And I can proudly say I've done both. But it's interesting the way people look at life and stuff like that. And everyone has movies that they love and interpret differently. Like you could ask someone, Donnie Darko, for example, you'd be like, "What's the movie about?" And you'll get three different answers. Like everyone interprets a movie differently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, Coyote, I imagine like in the scene on Terminator 2 where he picks that kid up by like his screen. That's what I imagine you're like with your cups.
What is this?
What do you want, Odin? Do you want a juice? Juice?
Yeah.
Love that. Vin, have you got a question?
Yeah, so that's your favorite movie. Do you watch movies more nowadays?
We the one thing Em and I have done recently is we take turns showing each other movies that we've never seen before. So like it's really funny. Like I'll be like, "Oh, have you seen, like, for example, The Matrix?" She's like, "I've never seen it." I'm like, "You've never seen The Matrix?" Like, what do you mean? We take turns showing each other movies, and we have rules with it. So like, if it's a 2-hour movie, they have to at least watch an hour of it. If they don't like it, we'll stop and move on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen like,
and we take turns and try and keep it like we keep a tally, and like she's shown me stuff that I've never seen. I absolutely loved it. Like she showed me like The Great Gatsby. I'd never seen Gatsby, and I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's a brilliant actor. I saw Gatsby for the first time. I was like, this is incredible. Like, you know, it's been so like really cool doing that. So yeah, we've definitely been watching lots of movies. We finished off Dharma. We watched Dharma recently on Netflix.
I started watching.
I hated it. We were so bored with it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my god. Like we're like waiting. We're like, okay, where's the gore? Where's what? Yep.
To be fair, it's not as gory as people make it out to be. It's more disturbing than anything.
Like, oh, it's so bad. Like people can't watch it. I'm like, what's the bad part? Like, I have to say that like without giving spoilers, the episode that's done with the I assume they're deaf actors. It's called Silenced, and literally half the episode is there's no talking in it. There's no audio. And I love the way that was filmed because it's so cool to just see people using sign, and the way it was filmed was so well done. It was really cool. But the series as a whole, I was so bored. Like,
I'm so surprised by that.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Like I say, most people have said the total opposite. And I have the episodes I've watched, they're slow, but they're suspenseful. So they're kind of keeping me on my edge just enough to go, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening.
Like we were saying, like we still enjoyed it, but at the same time, we're like, nothing's happening. Like, you know, you're meant to. I guess like they don't want to glorify who he was, and this was the thing I was actually chatting about on stream the other day, where we were talking about like John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy and all that sort of stuff. And I said, do you guys feel that by Netflix doing these series and stuff, is it just glorifying these psychotic, messed up people and just making them famous, you know? And it was really interesting seeing people's thoughts and opinions on it, like, because it's really funny. Like the first time I ever heard of Jeffrey Dahmer was through Demolition Man, where Wesley Snipes' character is like they're unfreezing prisoners. He's like, Jeffrey Dahmer, I love that guy. Like, and that was
I had to look it up. That's when I first found out who he was.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know,
exactly.
I don't know where Ted Bundy. I don't know Ted Bundy. I thought you meant El Bundy. You know, from
yep.
Oh, Vin.
I was like, what's psych about El Bundy?
Well, I got M hooked on Game of Thrones. Like she'd never watched games.
I love that.
So I've got her hooked on Game of Thrones at the moment. When I had my foot reconstruction, I finally watched Walking Dead. So I finally caught up on Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is good.
M despises Negan. Like she absolutely detests his character. So like M boycotted, I think it was like season 7 of Walking Dead, like after Glenn, you know, use the spoilers. But like
is that though because she's a Supernatural fan and she didn't want to see John Winchester being a bit of a dickhead?
I don't know. I don't know. So yeah,
love it.
Stop it, Ben.
Yeah, no, like Evan Peters. I was just reading the comment from Ultimate Gaming. Evan Peters did an incredible role because he even said prior to it, he's like, I don't want to do silly roles anymore. He's like, I don't want to be a superhero. I don't want to do fun stuff. They handed him the script for Dharma, and he's like, I think I can make this work. But he said it'll be a challenge to do it, which is, and like you look at actors that go down these paths of darker characters, like Heath Ledger, for perfect example of him, his portrayal of Joker.
Joker,
totally messed his head. Like Jim Carrey when he played
Cable Guy.
No.
Jim Carrey's just
Man on the Moon. I forgot the guy who's portraying Andy Kaufman, the comedian. Like apparently Jim Carrey like literally believed he was Andy. Like it's interesting.
To be fair, he is a bit kooky.
Jim Carrey making that movie, and everyone's like, he was unbearable to work with because he literally thought he was Andy Kaufman. Like, you know.
That is brilliant. That is so good.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Are we ready as a team to do some bit of fun? Let's give Kyote some quick fire questions.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah. So this is all trivia. Kyote, all a bit of fun. Try not to think about the answer too much. Whatever first thing comes to your head. Okay. So, guys, on screen, I've got the order of Tater, Pinky, and then Vin. So we're going to carry on in that order. All right, guys. So Tater, you'll be kickstarting us. So, guys, fire the questions away. Try not to drag them out. Let's do this.
All right. Right. Favorite Power Ranger?
Jason David Frank, White Ranger, Tommy. I said his real name first. I was like, Jason David Frank.
It's fine. Yeah. White Ranger.
I'm going to steal Vin's thunder here just because I can. Also tits.
Oh, ninja.
Oh, man. I'm a booty guy. Booty.
Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes!
Take that.
Morning or nighttime?
Night.
Dark Souls, yes or no?
Sorry?
Dark Souls, yes or no?
Never played it.
Fair point.
Never played it, yeah. Want to, though.
Vin?
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Favorite game?
Oh, man, favorite game. Halo 3.
Oh,
what a choice! Okay.
I actually have the Halo Legendary symbol tattooed on the back of my my right leg as
really?
well. I still have it, yeah.
I want to sing it.
You get a... oh, no. That is awesome!
That is amazing!
Wow.
That is so cool. Pinky, next question.
Yeah, sorry. Horror movies or comedy movies?
Horror.
Sega or Nintendo?
Oh, you monster. Sega.
Yes!
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi, no Coke.
Nick and one from chat. T800 or the T1000?
Ooh, T800. Love the concept of the T1000 though.
Hulk Hogan or The Rock?
Oh man, Rock.
Favorite finishing move?
Oh crap. Yeah. Psycho Driver. Pops in my head. Super Dragon's old Psycho Driver. Yeah.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
You definitely like sweet guy.
Sorry. That's sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
Finish him or combo breaker.
British Jam. Combo breaker. So good.
Favorite Power Ranger monster?
Golda.
Yes.
Which one's Golda?
The big gold one.
The big gold one.
Gold one. Looks like a bear, yeah.
So
best horror movie.
Oh, come on,
man.
Forgive me.
13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh, 13
Beautiful
Ghosts.
film. Yes.
Yeah. Zombie Armageddon, because that's what all of us gamers have prepared for all of our life.
Yeah.
Yes. My plan is to die. Okay, Mario or Sonic?
Sonic.
I love you. Summer or winter?
Sorry, what was that one?
Summer? The nice
summer
warm
or
weather?
winter?
Or winter?
Well, it's pretty much summer every day here in Australia. I like winter. I prefer the cold.
Oh,
all right. Autumn or spring? I'll go with the other one. Spring.
First person shooter or real time strategy?
Ooh, shooters. But I do love strategy games, but yeah, shooters.
Favorite Funko pop behind you?
Ooh.
Or next to you, the one, your own, you know?
My own? Probably any of my Batman 89 ones. So like Michael Keaton Batman pops. Probably, yeah. Snow or rain? Well, we don't really get snow in Australia, so I've only ever seen snow once in my life, or twice in my life. Once down in Victoria and once in New York City. So rain, I guess. Yeah.
Love it.
Nice. Is it me? Is it me?
Yeah.
You always come off the bin.
Do you know what? I forgot my question now.
We'll come back to you, Pinky.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Come back to me.
Controversial. Who is your favourite mod?
Oh, you can't answer that. You can't answer that.
Yes, he can.
You can.
They're all mods for a reason.
I'm not at liberty to disclose that information.
They're all mods for a reason. Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
Carry on, Vinny.
We go back 10 years, yeah? So
Okay.
we go wrestling.
Yeah.
Who will win? Coyote or Tater?
I'd put Tater over.
No, I put Coyote over.
No, I'm putting you over.
Yes, I put you over.
So
Let's go. Let's go.
I love it. Taylor, what's your question?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hold on. We got one for
There we are.
Yes, SmackDown. It's SmackDown.
Love it. Love that.
Burger or hot dog? Burgers.
Nice. Right. Okay. Fleety Snake or Pink Ninja Bunny?
Yes, Tater.
Look.
It's okay. You can go Pinky. It's all right. It's okay. I don't mind it.
A little bit from column A and a little bit from column B.
Pinky, you're up.
I can't. I'm too busy laughing at Taylor getting stuck in his
Okay,
own
all right.
chair.
I got one.
Professionalism, buddy. You can do it.
I got another.
Beer or cider?
I don't drink. So when I did cider, but yeah, I don't drink anymore. I haven't legitimately drunk for a very long time. So yeah.
Good choice.
I used to enjoy cider.
Okay. Oh,
There we
chat
go.
says
We got
pizza
one
or
in chat.
burger?
Pizza or burger? Probably pizza.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marry me,
Ninja
Coyote.
Ninja pizza. Pizza just feels very quickly about Trace.
Okay, favorite song?
Dreams by Van Halen. That was a song I listened to every single time before a match, and it's my go-to song if I ever feel down or just need to pick me up. So yeah, Dreams by Van Halen.
Perfect.
Least favorite music genre?
Folk. I don't know.
Just like generic. I love it.
Yeah.
Vin?
Paralympics finalist or Twitch partner?
Oh,
that's a
okay.
good one.
That's a great question.
See, it's funny. Like I don't see Twitch partner being the be all or end all as well. Like I feel like being affiliate is just as good, especially with the way Twitch is running at the moment. Please don't shut me down, Twitch, if you see this. But I feel like that because of all the changes lately, it seems like being a partner is only worth for that purple tick. Like it doesn't seem as important. So I guess definitely the Olympics. Alien or Predator? Predator. Straight up Predator.
Favorite motivational speaker?
My nana.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't actually have one main primary. I always forget the gentleman's name, but I use him a lot in like my videos and stuff on TikTok. So I've forgotten that. But yeah, I'd probably say M or my nan.
Yeah.
Cool. Love that. Pinky?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. It's just literally got out of my head. I'm gonna go with rock or metal music.
Quite a fine line, isn't there?
When you say metal, are we referring to like 1980s glam rock metal? Or
No, we're talking
like
modern heavy metal.
Rock. But yeah, both.
Both is legit. It's not a problem. Vin?
Are you morning bird or night owl?
Oh, we've had
Night
that.
owl. 100% night owl.
Wake up, Vin.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
Yeah, take her off earlier.
Yes, we
Oh, okay.
have.
That's okay.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I've
Okay.
always been more of a night owl.
You can tell which one of us is not a night owl.
I just got a question to ask, guys, if you don't mind, just interject. Okay, so tomorrow you got to watch a TV series, a brand new one. What are you starting?
Ooh,
that's nice.
I want to watch Vikings Valhalla. I haven't watched that yet.
Cool.
You watched
Nice.
you watched the original Vikings?
Yes.
I loved it. I
Absolutely
loved
loved
it.
it,
Yeah.
No,
Have you seen
especially how
Supernatural?
historically correct it was as well. Sorry, Taylor, what was that?
Have you seen Supernatural?
Yes, but I haven't. I'm actually quite behind in it, so I think I'm only up to like season 8.
That's
I used
right.
to watch it religiously, but I haven't watched it since. But I also know what happens and like. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm interested to see how the prequel series goes with Henry Cavill playing
the Winchesters.
so that'll be interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Samuel Dean then.
Dogs. Yeah. So yeah, there's a few things. Yeah, definitely. I think that's on the list.
Samuel Dean.
Oh, Samuel Dean.
Sorry,
Samuel
Dean. Dean.
Yes.
What's that?
Mickey?
That's the Supernatural, the characters from Supernatural, but he's asking which one he prefers.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. What's your go-to TV show? If you want something comfortable, you just stick on and you can just veg out to. What's your go-to?
Veg out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's probably like some sort of cartoon. Funnily enough, like probably I don't know, Batman animated series.
Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Apologies, we've just been raided.
I have seen, yeah. Beardy, thank you very much.
Raiders.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Hello there.
Do you want to do your intro?
yeah.
Do it.
All right. And here we go. Hello, friends. Allow me to introduce myself. My name's the Giant Kyote. I'm Australia's tallest professional wrestler. I'm a streamer. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a bodyguard. I'm a happily taken giant with 3 beautiful cubs. And I'm recovering amputee after having half my leg removed. Welcome in, Raiders. And welcome to the show.
Look at the energy. Love it. I love it. Guys, thank you for the raid, though. Unfortunately, we are coming really close to the end.
I've got a question. I've got a really important question.
We're going to let
go for
it.
Lagertha or Khaleesi?
Lagertha.
Yes.
Okay.
Shield maidens for the win.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can tell which one of us here has no idea what they're talking about.
we need to. Unfortunately, we need to start wrapping up the show. Unfortunately, guys, this is always the worst bit. Always worst bit. But we have to be fair for everybody in the future and everyone in the past. They all get the same time frame.
Yeah.
It just goes so quickly. We're nearly at the 2 hour point already.
I'd love to do this again.
So, mate, the only thing we got left for you to do here is if I want you to sell yourself, promote yourself, you've got a couple of minutes to do it. Go for it. Where can everyone find you?
All right. You can find me all over social media, guys. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, obviously also on Twitch under the Giant Kyote. I stream 5 days a week, every Tuesday to Saturday during the day from Tuesday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Queensland time. So it's about 10 hours ahead of the UK. We do the Hour of Power from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. where we play different fighting games each and every week. Then on a Tuesday night and Saturday night, I do full playthroughs of games. I'm actually about to start Grand Theft Auto 5 for the first time. And then on Friday nights, it is BFG Fridays from 8 p.m. Queensland time, where I play spooky, scary horror games, and you can watch a 6'10" giant jump out of his seat and have a commitment live on screen.
I wish you knew the scary one. That was fantastic.
My Twitch channel is a very safe, happy place where we spread nothing but good times, good vibes, and positivity. We've got an amazing community. We love meeting new people. We love helping people smash goals. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is a really cool place to be. We also have a Discord, which is run by my amazing mods. I'm not in the Discord myself. I personally don't like Discord. That's just me. But we have an amazing community. Everyone is welcome anytime to come hang out and stream. We love helping fellow streamers as well get to their affiliates or whatever goals they're trying to reach. And yeah, I'm always open for chats. We talk about anything and everything, and like really pride ourselves on our channel being a safe, fun, happy place. So yeah, everyone's welcome.
I'll never forget being serenaded by you.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
I do sing sometimes.
We really appreciate you being here, mate. Honestly, and again,
thank you so
much. Stupidly early in the morning, mate. Really, really do appreciate it. Guys, absolutely amazing. If you're not following or not checked out Kyote, get your ass in there. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. So, guys, just want to say to my panel members, thank you so much, guys. Really
thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Okay, thank you, Kyote. It was a pleasure, man. It was
guys, thank you so much. Seriously, I'd love to do this again. We can talk more about stuff. Like I know there's a lot of stuff that we didn't cover about. Anytime, guys. If you want me, I'll be here.
So I'm just gonna ask you to stick around.
I always want you, Kyote.
Guys, we're out of time. So, guys, going to say goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. Kyote's going to stick around.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you later,
Take care.
everybody. Thank you so much.
Keep it hard, people.
Bye.